Good evening, I'm KHUL Meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and it's time for our tropics update. We are looking at a pretty quiet Atlantic basin, and we're just expecting it to be dusty, at least for the next several days, all thanks to that Saharan dust. So as we take a look at our tropical satellite, this is looking at the GOES infrared satellite imagery across the globe, and this is really where we kind of can identify where these systems could be, but we're looking at quiet conditions, especially across the Atlantic basin. There's a little bit of a disturbance that's making its way just off the coast of the northeast, but of course we have some cooler waters in that location, and as well as we are looking at some dusty conditions across the Atlantic Ocean, and that really is going to prevent any tropical systems from becoming a bit active, especially as we head into the coming days. We also have some unsettled weather that is off the coast of Florida. You have this little disturbance moving through, but then again, we have lots of Saharan dust over the Gulf, and then we are also looking at just this little bit of an unsettled weather pattern coming in from the south of us, especially across South Texas along the U.S.-Mexico border. But this system is actually sending a lot of tropical moisture our way, which is eventually going to be responsible for bringing us some rain chances for Sunday and into Monday. So the good news in all of this, no activity expected through the next 7 days. It's going to be a quiet outlook for us, but we are just still tracking the chance for some increasing rain chances as that tropical moisture is going to be just dominating a large portion of Texas, including us here across the Houston area. So when you have that tropical moisture in combination with a stationary front that's making its way in from the north, that really is going to bring a heavy rain setup for Monday and into Tuesday. So Monday is the day that we're going to have to watch for some heavy rain that could bring some elevated flooding risks for some locations. We could get some 3 to 5 inches of rain in some isolated spots. So something to not ignore in the coming days, especially as you start our work week for Monday. So that frontal boundary just bringing us that rain chance for the first half of next week. But of course, we have Saharan dust. This is a look at what we are tracking right now. I'm going to go ahead and go into this scene and zoom out here so we can see how far this dust plume is. But as you take a look, we are looking at this dust plume stretching as far in from the Gulf all the way across the Atlantic Ocean from the Saharan desert. So that's how far this is stretching, as you see here, as that dust is becoming more just concentrated across Africa. There's a huge high pressure system across the North African continent, and that really just brings that dust over the open waters. You see those wind streams that where it usually loves to travel. We have a high pressure system currently in the mid-Atlantic, but of course it's going to continue its track across the southern end of those highs and eventually still bringing us another dusty outlook for the latter part of this week, maybe for Thursday, Friday. So as we take a look at what's to come, we are expecting it to really becomes dusty, especially as we head into the middle of the week. That very well could end those rain chances. The Saharan dust layer, where the layer of the atmosphere where this dust likes to travel, it has a dry component to it, and it usually does a good job at tearing systems apart, especially as we go into dealing with active weather. But of course, this hazy outlook expected to last at least through the end of next week. So it's been pretty clear here across the Houston area, but we're going to be back to those hazy skies and possibly lower air quality concerns, especially as we head into the end of the week. So in terms of our 2026 hurricane names, we've already started off with Arthur. That was a weak tropical storm. As our graphics are loading, that weak tropical storm was just off the coast of Galveston. Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo. We still end it with Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. So hopefully we don't get through any more of these names, but just keep in mind that even though we're seeing a less active hurricane season, it only takes one storm to cause problems, especially for us here across the Houston area. But right now we are in just about midway through hurricane season. We still have several months to go, but we are looking at the peak of that hurricane season on September 10th. September is the peak date that we usually keep an eye on. Most of our historic storms that we've seen are quite significant storms that we've seen happen in the months of September, and so we really have to pay attention and still keep our eyes peeled on the tropics, and which is the reason why we have these daily tropical updates, just to keep you aware of what's to come, especially as we go into the next few weeks. And so we're also looking at an El Nino setup. So we have a lot of wind shear, and then, like I said, wind shear, like we've said before, is the wind speeds at the upper levels of the atmosphere. And so what that usually does is that when you have higher winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere, it really does a great job at tearing those systems apart. So all the ingredients are just against the formation of any tropical system as we head into the coming days. But just also keep in mind that El Nino means that we have a stormier and wetter than normal outlook. It could be the reason why we've seen these stormy days here across the Houston area, especially as we've seen this from May, June, and now the month of July. So we have that Pacific jet. It has a more of a southerly track to it, and that really just continues to bring those disturbances into portions of Texas, including us here in Houston, and it really just brings that stormy outlook, especially as we go into the coming days. So temperature outlook is looking warmer than normal. We are expecting it to be still warm and humid, a typical summertime pattern, but the only good news is that this tropical moisture and the rain chances for the first part of next week will bring some cooler temperatures, which is very good news, and being the fact that we've dealt with 90-degree temperatures for the past few days. So tropical systems are looking mostly quiet, but we are definitely expecting this to continue not being active, especially as we head into the next few days. One thing that we have to note here is that NOAA has released their outlook recently, their updated outlook, and they're calling for less active hurricane season for the rest of hurricane season. So just keep that in mind as well as we head into the coming days. So that's our tropical update. We have more for you to come, especially later on with a little under an hour on the KHOU 11 News at 10 p.m. Make sure to tune in on TV or on our streaming app on KHOU 11 to get the latest news and weather headlines. I, along with anchor Cheryl Mercedes, will be giving you the latest news and weather headlines. So have a good, safe rest of your evening.